I'm trying to build a paint bar system here of Hakanashi's. Got 3 layers in here, I think. And I'm playing back in Strategy Tester MT4. Playing back the Euro dollar from September of something here. I can't even see what year it is, but it doesn't matter because I'm just working on rehearsing the entries and exits. I can't believe this punishment here. This is probably the meltdown of the euro. I think I was at $1.33 about 6 hours ago. I've been playing this back, and luckily the computer's fast enough to process. Look at this. Look at this thing just keep tanking. Of course, when it's blue, you should be short. When it's this color, you should be long, but it doesn't say it can't pull back, so I'm trying to filter my order entries to just a particular style. At this point, I want to get in on buy limits here that are way out in the future. So it's going to look a lot more like this. If I come in here and put in some entry points, so I want to buy here. And right now I'd be buying on limits and limits here for retests. And I used to buy on stops up here, but since I'm so short, I really have a problem with the spreads on these brokers fluctuating. So I'm only going to sell on stops because this way, what I see on the screen here, I had to take off the ask actually because on playback, you can see the spread here, which the last known spread on this broker was 7 pips, which is crazy for the euro dollar, but when we go to the weekend, this broker opens up their spread. So in Strategy Tester playback, I'm seeing a spread of 7, so I had to turn it off. It was so disturbing. It's literally like you're losing every second, right? Here I should be getting filled on this buy limit, and probably I would actually put in about now I'm placing literally 55 pips deep because it's like a Fibonacci extension. So if this is 55 pips deep, then the next handle is going to be down here at 89 pips. And then I'm going to go down here. If I get stopped out of that, I'm buying here. So keep increasing my my extensions are getting in deeper based on the I'm projecting that we're going to keep going down the tubes. All right, now this is always the typical pause here where people think, oh, maybe it's over. Now I have sell stops too right now. So sell stops because I don't really know what's to the left. I can't zoom out because in Strategy Test you can't change time frames, so you're just locked in here to ride out the storm. But these getting back to the century system, it basically is the color. Kind of like I have a moving average of 1 here. So this is like the structure of the market. Here's the triangle. Here's the spills out. You're long until it changes color. Here's the first hint of it changing color. But the problem is that you can't just indiscriminately hit just because it's blue. Well, I guess you could actually. You could trade like kind of, that's kind of a little bit of a lag. I mean, as soon as this turns blue, you want to be on the sell side. Of course, this didn't make a lot of money because it already spelled out that you have to be getting in on stops when it's whatever this color is here, tan. When you see these little yellow guys, you're thinking, wow, let's lay some long-term stops. And so you're going to get the worst fill on some of these because, see, this black part, it traded there. So they filled you there. And that's when the market makers are. This is a 1-hour chart. This is where they're making money off people because people that are too lazy to babysit the market every 15 minutes or every hour. I'm not lazy, but I guess everybody's got to sleep, right? But I think you want to be awake about 8 bars into. In other words, as you go through this session close here and it gets very quiet, you could lay your breakout orders here. At the end of the session, see how you come into the Asian session, kind of fade in it holds support here. Now, for the limit entries, which I'm primarily going to run, is 8 pips deep, 13.21, just Fibonacci. This way I don't have to think about it. And of course, for every other market, you may be into 144 deep. So in 12 hours, if you launch a 12-hour script and you're running this 12 pips per hour is 144 pips, right? So 12 times 12. I don't know. I don't have any math skills, but what I can tell you is this system. Okay, so I got filled on this retest. It actually went a 1 pip lower, so I'm long. I'm scalping out. I'm getting the hell out of this thing right now. And I'm going to put some more buy limits back down there. And if I don't get filled, so I'm gonna scooch these up where most people would have their, say they're long and they've got the protection here. I'm going to try to get back in here. And if it doesn't happen, no big deal. This is kind of a nice counter trend trade. Yeah, we could still keep going up. So this is based on this theory, though. Let me speed up this playback here. Go into the strategy tester. Take this thing up a notch. So this is max it out here. Okay, now if you scaled out of that, then take a little bit more there. Now it's time to think about selling this, because running sell stops in here and some scalps up there, that first climax. Okay, so you made a little bit on that short. Okay, now you got to think about getting long. Now here's the hard part. It's choppy. Okay, now they're going to come into the, we had this monster sell-off at the end of the day. I don't know if that was Friday. No, it's still the middle. Yeah, it's usually a Wednesday. You get this insane deep discount. So now, where's your target to get out is going to be up here, where the floor fell out. Because that's a. We wish it goes up there real quick, right? But we had to get long here on this pullback. We got stepped out of these shorts if we had any. Okay, now we're long, and now we're either taking profits or throwing in buy limits down here. So we want to get in here if we get a plunge pullback. But see, maybe not. Maybe it's going to hit this target and ricochet off. Okay, now I'm thinking about selling. Putting sell stops in right now. Scalps. Okay, just scalp that. Now just sit there. If you get filled up, okay. Maybe you had some still exits there. You don't touch it. Now you're getting filled on buy limits. Getting filled on buy limits here. Some are scalps. Some are looking to. They're looking to double or triple their money. Because you got to order back. Okay, now you just cashed out of some of those scalps. Now you reload on the limits again. Or if you've got the flexibility, you would sell into that little climax there. But now you're getting filled on buy limits. Okay, now you need to take some heat here. If you haven't placed them in the Fibonacci, you just scalped. Now that's my favorite trade right there. Just a smash and grab. Okay, now we're going to take out the top. That's got to be my favoriteest. I mean, you just got to love that. Look at that. It was just like anybody even trying to hop on this thing take a ride. Now look at the bottom of the hour, how it jumps really hard. This is all this stuff that's set to run this algorithm. Okay, now we're going for that target. But I'm putting in some sell stops. I can put in a couple right as soon as we break out that top. And if we hit that, the moment you hit this target, you're gonna hit sell stops. So you could have sell stopped into that climax there and just scalped a little pullback. Okay, here we're gonna make a run for the. I think so. I'm gonna make a run for that. Okay, bam, sell. Now, if you're in front of your computer for that, another sell. You got sell stops in. Okay, in other words, it doesn't fill till it pulls back. Okay, now it just scalped that. Now it keeps going. Now, if you're not even long this thing, you could just scalp it every time it. Okay, you just pull them back. Now you could possibly pull back all the way to this top. So you could pull back all the way to here. Now, even if you scalp that, you're flat the market, you can still have buy limits below. Or you're looking to sell the next run up to here. All right, this would be the next target. Okay, now we smashed to a double top there. Now it's choppy. Now it's tough to trade. Now, at this point, I would just walk away from it. I mean, this is so high drama here. Okay, this is the end of the session. One last smash through the top. Another chance to sell that black. Anytime you're in this black is really it's the actual high and low of that 1 hour, stepping outside of the smooth paint bars, we call them. So this is how I trade. Okay, now you got to sit there flat, because this is where you're really going to get chopped to death if you're looking for a lot of that craziness. This is Asian session coming in here now. So yeah, it could go up. Now I'm placing in buy limits because here's where we could get the possible. Here we go. Okay, here's where market makers are coming in the Asian session now. Okay, you just scalp that if you like that trade, where you take a dip. You're in the uptrend, right? So you want to look for places to get long. Okay, you're getting filled on limits there. If you did have sell stops in here narrow for this, quiet breakout, but this is a choppy session. Okay, these are great scalps. Maybe possible retests. Okay, maybe we're done. Maybe we go for the top now here. Possibly. If you still had some longs from here, you'd be actually making more than a retrace. Not only did it bounce, but it'll take out that top. So it's like a Super Bowl move where, okay, see, they're going to hunt down the top, get ready to sell. As soon as you approach this zone, a lot of sellers come in, and okay, there's a sell. Now, never even took out that top, never broke out. But typically it'll break out, then pull back to the breakout point, or here's where we start hunting down these guys. But if you still got pendings out here, floating out here, you got a grid of Fibonacci extended pip-wise, just so you don't have to do the math. 55 pips deep, come on. Okay, now you get filled. Okay, now they're crushing into this support, which you thought was support. A lot of guys, I would buy there, at least for a scalp. Now we could just continue tanking. Now here's where it gets squirrely, and if you're not, this thing could just come unwrapped now because there's probably news coming out pretty soon here. But as the setup to the news, see how it just jumps so hard after the close. The setups to the news, you can make so much money right here. Okay, here's where they want to take it down and go after these guys' stops. So if you're not short that thing, you're throwing buy limits out in front of it because this peak here is key bounce zone area right there, and that was the top, became this bottom. So this is a real ripe place to just put a big fat iceberg down here with a bunch of tentacles off it for scaling out, and then we could go short right here, sell stops just in case, right? In case they go after this. Not that, but this guy right here. These stops. People got stops in here. They want those stops. Okay. Down in, and you've got orders that start there and go below. Now we could actually go to right. As the news comes out here, this is always one of those where the bears just literally just smother this thing. Okay, they got this. They got those two stops there. People had their protection in there. That's the premium place to get in. Is where supposedly the logical place to put a stop. This 1 pip below stuff. Okay, that's the breakout, and is this the follow through? If that was the breakdown, that was the pullback. Here comes the follow through. Now they're gonna make an attempt at this. And here comes the news. What would it take to push that over the cliff? Nothing. Because you've already got people that have holding shorts. This whole thing is just blue. And bless those people's patience. Okay, now here's the contention point. Right up against it. I'm sure the news is coming out. And we've got to collapse now. Come on, really? This has got to be when the thing really comes unwrapped. Okay, they grabbed those guys by 1 pip. Here comes the market makers. Going to take it back up to this previous down bottom. Of course, this is wonderful playback. 1 hour, right? Who isn't making money on this chart? But in strategy tester, it's more of a